first time in the stand since opening day of last season, where I shot a doe. I didn't explain it last year, but my neighbors borrowed an excavator from the construction company that my family owns and dug a pond here. That's why the ground was so tore up last year. Well, this year, it's pretty nice looking in here. It's almost utopia. And it looks really good. The biggest thing about this stand is I'm skylined pretty good. And I just gotta not move once something comes in here. So once we get settled, we won't move like pretty much at all. And I'll probably have a bow in my hand the rest of the night. The hardest thing's gonna be trying to get my bow up and the camera on. So it could be a real challenge. We'll see if something happens. We're pretty close to a neighboring property where I've been seeing some pretty good bucks. Actually, two neighboring properties where I've seen multiple 130, 140 plus inch bucks earlier, like a month ago, in bean fields. So some of the beans in the area are off, some are not. But we're going to see what happens tonight. It's about 68 degrees. I got a babysitter tonight, my mom. And my wife's going to pick her up on the way home from work. So I've got a night to hunt. This is my second time out all season. So I'm not sure. Hopefully this is some poison oak. And hopefully I don't get it. I really did not check the wind right here. I didn't think it was a questionable wind, but it might be. Just depends on the moment, I guess. So probably nothing's going to come from the northeast. Now that I'm in here, I wish I'd have known that before I got here, but it's a west-northwest wind. And I'm sitting on the south fence row of this wood lot, which is essentially a swamp. So it is what it is. I'm not going to move now. It's just like 5 o'clock, I think. So we got 2.5 hours of good hunting, so we'll see how it goes.
After getting settled into the tree stand, I saw something at about 30 yards. I knew my neighbor recently had an apple butter party, and this is the location they chose to dump the peels and cores.
Well, that was not an ideal hit. But that was an awesome buck. way forward on the shot. I don't know. Think I had buck fever. Man, I hope I get him. Man, I hope I get him. Wow, that was a great buck. That might be the buck my brother's been chasing. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I wish I felt better about that shot. Oh, it's like 30, 35 yards. Oh man, I should have just been patient. Should have been patient and waited for a better shot. Oh my gosh. Definitely forward on him. It is 7:01, October the 7th. It's my second day out this year. Oh, I just watched that back, and I wish I felt better about it. Watched it 3 times. The screen's tiny. I wish I had a bigger screen. And I wish I had more zoom on my lens, but I didn't have time to zoom in. And I wasn't going to make the movement. He already stared right at me once through a tree. But the shot was forward. It was definitely forward. If it could have been a foot further back in his boiler room, then I would feel great about it. But boy, that's a marginal shot. I think I'm gonna let this just sit for tonight. Try to get a sitter tomorrow for my daughter, and see if I can get out here midday and pick up the blood trail. I don't want to mess with it tonight. I just don't feel good about it at all. Just a bad deal. What do you do? Spend all this time and effort. You make a lousy shot. Amazing creature like that. That buck was amazing. It was an awesome buck. I really think that's the one my brother's been hunting. He's had him at like 80 yards several different times, but he just can't get closer to him. And that was in his bean field, which he just took his beans off 2 days ago. Well, I'm gonna climb down and pack up, climb down for the night. I'm not even gonna look tonight. I mean, not. Well, it is Tuesday morning, October 8th, 7 a.m. I've been laying in bed for the last few hours just thinking about this buck. So it's kind of weighing on my mind here. I've probably watched this video 40 times since last night. Showed it to my brother. He says, definitely the buck he's been hunting. Showed it to a few friends. They think he's dead. We're going to take up the trail here in a few hours once I get a sitter. And hopefully we come across him. So we'll see what happens.
All right, well, it is, I don't know, 11 o'clock, and we're being stared at by 2 deer at 100 yards. It's 11 o'clock, and Wes and I are out here to see if we can pick up the blood trail, see what we can find. Doesn't tell me a lot other than there's blood on it because of the heavy dew, but there is definitely a good amount of blood on it. I mean, there's
we're on the trail. My brother's joined the hunt, and he's just on a mission. We're on his property now, and he's tracking them. We finally got some relatively decent blood, and we're gonna see what we come up with. So hopefully we find them. Well, we're still going. We're still on the trail. Been slow going in places, but these guys are doing a great job, and my nerves are just inside out. I'm having a hard time focusing, but that's why you go and get help. But search continues. So yeah, here we got some
fatty tissue or clot or something, and a big string of something. So
definitely nothing that came out of the vitals. I mean, this ain't looking good. We are officially calling it quits. We have found blood for what, 300 to 400 yards, probably 400 yards, and between probably 100 and 200, it was really, really good, really encouraging. And then at 250, just really petered out, and we just been following specs, just getting smaller and smaller. The last 3 or 4 spots we found was basically crawling on our hands and knees. 30 yards from the last place we found them, found blood on a trail. We have gridded the trails in this area for, I don't know, a couple hundred yards both ways. Basically, it's a long corridor, and there's cornfields on both sides. The corn's coming off in another week and a half or so. We don't think he went in the corn, but he could have. We just don't know. But he really quit bleeding, and there was some spots that looked like clotting or fatty tissue or something. But it just looked like he's stopped bleeding pretty much. We're not real confident that he's dead. Probably more likely that he's alive. So we're gonna call off a search for today. We're gonna see if we find photos or witness him here in the next week or so. I mean, in this distance, he should be bleeding a lot more. He just stopped bleeding altogether. So we're gonna pull our tape and we're gonna head out and continue to search on down the road. So what's your thoughts, Wes?
I just back out, keep running your cameras, and keep checking fields, keep scouting. So I don't think he's dead. So that's my thoughts.
That's kind of my thought as well. So we'll back out, pull all this tape out, and grab the arrow and try again. I don't know. My brother's been hunting this buck for the whole season here, and he just took his beans off, and that's where he'd been seeing him consistently. Couldn't get closer than 80 yards. I got a 30 and I screwed it up, obviously. So it's the bad side of hunting right there. That's the way it goes sometimes.